What is up, guys? Beancrew49 here. We are back on the Desolation map. You dare me to jump? You dare me? I'll jump. I'll do it. I'll do it. Oh my goodness. I'm alive. Okay, let's creative mode. We're good. What is up, guys? We are in front of the Strand. And that was a long fall. These long falls make me want to start building. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to work on the Strand a little bit. As you can see, we are nearing completion. Can you believe it? I think the last thing you guys saw was I was working on this KB toy store, just the facade of it. This got done. A whole bunch of other stuff got done. The golf store got done. The ABC baby store got done. I don't know if Stormix is done with that. But we're getting all sorts of progress in this mall. Well, mini mall. This Strand is what I'm calling it. It's the Strand. What's this? One plot left for me to build on? No, 2 plots left. 2 plots. Which one do I want? I want this one. Alright, 2 plots left. That means I gotta do some magic. And that's what I'm gonna do for you guys today. I'm gonna work on some magic. Now, my first question is, what colors do I want to use? I don't even know. I haven't used any of this. So what are we building today, you might ask? Well, if you read the title, that might give you some indication. Today we're building a travel agency. Now, are you guys old enough to know what that even is? How many of you know what a travel agency even is? Oh, it's crazy. I guess I'm dating myself. A travel agency, guys, is a business that you would go to back before the internet existed. If you wanted to go on a trip, there was no such thing as Priceline or I don't know what they're all. I don't know. There's like 800,000 of them. The different websites that show you prices for hotels and airfare and rental car, all on the same site, and you can basically book a trip from your office chair, right? That wasn't always the case. Back in the day, if you wanted to go on a vacation, you had to go to a travel agency, and they would tell you all the things that you need to know, and they would book it all for you. They'd organize your itinerary. They'd give you an itinerary, first of all, and they basically plan your vacation for you. Of course, you would tell them what you wanted to do and what you wanted to see, but for the most part, they were choosing the hotels. I mean, you tell what hotel you want to go to and all that, but, they're doing all the work, and you gotta pay them. It's like a middleman. Basically, what it was an intermediary step before the internet existed. So, be happy that you guys have internet these days. We're living in the lap of luxury, right? Feels like it. Alright, what's going on here? Okay. I'm gonna build a little globe, right? It's kind of big. It's not little at all. Let's move it all up one. Maybe that'll help. That's a big globe. Oh well. So what do we want to talk about today? What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about my travels. I have been extremely lucky in my life. I've done a lot of traveling. I've been so fortunate to have so many opportunities to travel and see different places and become, a different person based on my travels. It's kind of cliche and a lot of people say it, but you got to get out and travel. You have to travel, right? I think that traveling is absolutely essential. Absolutely essential to all human beings. You have to travel to be a well-rounded human being. You have to experience other cultures. You have to, go out on your own and, risk things and go see stuff. So traveling is absolutely one of the most enriching things you can do as a person. Let's talk about my travels. I've been to a lot of places. I guess I could name them for you. I've been to Mexico twice. In Mexico, I went to Puerto Vallarta. I've been to Mazatlan. I've been to... Where else did we go? Cancun. So I've been to most of the touristy places in Mexico. But we actually rented a car and drove from Puerto Vallarta to Mazatlan on the Mexican highway. That was an experience. That was a fun journey. So yeah, I've been to Mexico. Let's see. I've been to the Dominican Republic. That was a fun adventure. That was a vacation with my family when I was younger. And that was an eye-opening experience. We actually went to some villages. We took a tour, a guided tour that was meant to be, like a touristy thing. They take you in a Jeep, and you're supposed to go into like a lagoon and go swimming and all that. But we actually, my family, the way we get down is we actually went to like a poverty-stricken village. We basically went to a Haitian village, is what they called it, because there was a lot of Haitian refugees living in there. And it was basically, these people were living in metallic huts that's, it was bad. It was bad. Just abject poverty. The worst poverty you could imagine. Or so I thought. I've seen worse. So let's talk about it. So Dominican Republic was really, really eye-opening, really fun. It was a Caribbean feel, and the Caribbean people, they do things upright. So where else? So Dominican Republic. I've been to Bolivia 4 or 5 times. My family's actually from Bolivia, so I've been there lots. And, we go visit, and oh man, there's so many things to do. We go mountain biking, all sorts of hiking trails. It's in the Andes. It's at 12,000 feet. This is where my family's from, so it is, the moment you step off the plane, you feel like you can't breathe anymore. How am I going to fit this? I'm trying to call this TaTa Travel. It's TaTa, right? TaTa. And it also stands for travel agency. I don't know. That's what I wanted to call it. We'll see if it fits. That's the real question. So Bolivia, yes, been to Bolivia 4 or 5 times. So I lost count. Go there all the time. What if I put it up one? Alright, Bolivia, yes, that's where my mom is from. Then, I'm trying to work my way down geographically. Where else have I gone? To Europe, I've been to England 4 times. So I had family in England, but they've now passed, so no longer do I have family in England, but they're from Devonshire, they're from Devon, so more country folk. So that's where my dad is from. He's a country folk. His dad was a sheep farmer, and you farm sheep? I don't know what you do with sheep, but this is not gonna fit unless I put it here. That might work. And yeah, so he came to this country when he was, I don't know how old he was, 30 something, early 30s, maybe late 20s, and he started a life in America and met my mom here and all that. So I've been to England 4 times. England is a fascinating place. It truly is. It's very different from America. I'll say that. Okay, and then England 4 times. I've been to France. I've been to Germany. But these are all times when I was 1 year old. My parents took me on a trip across Europe. They took the trains, and I was a wee little baby. So I don't remember all that. So I don't really count that as having been to these places. We went to Italy, I guess. Apparently, I was a small child just screaming on the trains. Just like, I was 1 year old. Of course, I would have screamed on the trains. What do you expect? Okay, so then, Europe. Never been to Africa. I want to go to Africa pretty badly. Africa is on my bucket list. It's the only continent besides Antarctica that I haven't been to. So yes, I need to go to Africa, and now. I would love to go to Africa. If anyone wants to buy me some tickets to Kenya or something, I will go. Alright. Let's see, what next? So, never been to Africa. As far as Asia, I've been to India. India was a life-changing experience for me. Like I said, in Haiti, I witnessed or Dominican Republic in a Haitian village, I witnessed abject poverty. I just mean, these people have nothing. Absolutely nothing. They had shanty houses, I witnessed poverty. Oh, I forgot Peru. How did I forget Peru? Yeah, I went to Peru I lived in Peru, actually. I don't know if you can't count. I lived there for almost 2 months. And what I was doing in Peru was I was teaching English to impoverished kids. Where is this thing? So basically the way it worked is I taught English for free. And in exchange, I got to live in a Peruvian family's house. And they cooked food, and I had a bed, and I had showers. So basically, I lived in Peru. I worked for free, but I worked for lodging, basically. And every day I'd wake up, and I'd walk up this huge mountain. This is in Cusco, so the elevation was about 9,000 feet. That looks good for an outside. The elevation's at about 9,000 feet, so it's hard on your lungs. Not as bad as Bolivia, but La Paz, Bolivia, where my mom's from. Not as bad, but still pretty bad, especially when you have to walk. Oh my goodness, when you have to walk in high elevation, it's bad. So yeah, I lived in Peru for a while. I saw a lot of poverty there. A lot of poverty in Peru and Bolivia. In fact, the kids I was teaching, basically had huts, They weren't the most well-off kids, and it felt good to, add to their life, but, it was really strange because they touched me as much as I touched them, I feel like. So it was a very mutually beneficial experience for everybody. I really liked that experience of Peru. Anyway, then I went to India with my dad for he was on a business trip, and I was about 14, and I went to India for a week, and that's when I saw some real poverty. Basically, my dad was working the whole time, so I basically was left to my own devices in India by myself. It was a strange experience, but I saw some things that changed my life, and it helped form who I am today. And you don't realize, unless you are in this situation with just absolutely abject poverty. People have nothing to their name. You don't realize until you see that happiness does not come from material possessions. These people are happier than any millionaire I've ever seen. Far happier. They love life. They enjoy life. Every day is a new adventure for them. They don't have to go sit in a cubicle and decay. They are outside. They're enjoying themselves. They appreciate the little things in life. And they have something to teach us. Even though they have nothing to their name, they own nothing, they still can teach us a lot of things about ourselves and about our culture and society. So just because you see a person with a homeless person basically, doesn't mean they don't have something to offer you. Okay? So keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Alright, so India was eye-opening, to say the least. I learned more. So I went to India, what was it? It was the summer between 9th and 10th grade. I was there for a week, or a little over a week and a half, 2 weeks. I learned more in India in 2 weeks than I did the entire rest of my high school. I swear to you, I've learned more valuable information in India than I did in high school, period. Keep that in mind. When you want to buy the new Jordans, you know what I mean? What if you saved up and went on a trip somewhere? Those Jordans will decay, and they'll die, and you'll have to throw them away. But the memories of your trip and the things you learned on your trip will never die, ever. They stay with you forever, and they help make you a better person. Alright, so what else? I went to China, I went to Hong Kong, and that was a trip. Talk about new cultures. I went to Hong Kong. This was weeks or months, probably weeks after the British had relinquished control of Hong Kong and gave it back to China. And so it was very much of a city that wasn't really sure of itself. Was it still British? Was it still Chinese? It's hard to tell. I stayed in Kowloon, but we went over to Hong Kong Island and took a ferry, and it was fun. It was fun. But it was about, it felt like about 108 degrees with the muggy humidity. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. But, what can you do? I feel like we're winding down on this video. How long have I been rambling? Have I been to any other places? Let me think. Oh, I forgot Australia. I lived in Australia. I've been to Australia twice. The first time I was there for 6 weeks, and we stayed with my cousin in Brisbane. We being my sister and I. I'm just walking back and forth here. Let's do something. Okay, let's make some desks. That's what we need, some desks here. We need a couple of them, because there's several agents working in this place. So I went to Australia for, what I say, 6 weeks, about 6 weeks. And stayed with my cousin. That was super fun. And went to Fraser Island, saw some dingoes. Did a lot of hiking. Some amazing hiking through the rainforest. Oh, that was a trip. That was fun. Amazing trip. And then I went to Australia again, maybe 5 or 6 years later. And I went for a year this time, and I stayed with my cousin again, and oh, that was an adventure. Being alone or away from your family and friends for a year, it was a weird experience, and being in a weird country that doesn't understand necessarily your customs. They didn't really get where I was coming from a lot of the time, which is understandable. It's different cultures. But it was strange. It was strange. But I'm back here now, so Australia, yeah, I think that's all the places I've been. I have a lot more traveling to do. I would love to travel further. And I want to go to Indonesia. I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to a lot of Southeast Asian countries. I don't really have much of a desire to go to Europe. I've seen England, and yeah, I've seen a lot of it. So yeah, Europe doesn't interest me as much. I like more exotic things, but like I said, Africa is my goal for the next trip. I would love to go to Africa. That would be so sweet. So good thing I don't need a travel agency to get there, because they don't exist anymore. So yeah, that'll wrap it all together, right? That brings it all together. Full circle. I went around the world, from my home in the San Francisco Bay Area to Mexico, to the Dominican Republic, to South America, to Europe, to Asia, to Australia, and back again. We've traveled all over, and we wouldn't trade those experiences for anything in this world. Hands down, period. Okay? So, I encourage you guys to get out there and travel. I really do. It's going to change your life for the better. I can guarantee you on that. So don't hesitate to jump at opportunities when they come. You never know when an opportunity is going to come. So have your passport ready to go, locked and loaded. Because you never know when someone's going to say, I got plane tickets, let's go. Alright, I think I'm going to work on this more off camera. That's going to be a video for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble about all the places I've been, the places I'm going to go. Oh, it's going to be awesome. Alright, that's it from me, guys. Enough traveling. That's the Strand. Oh, the Strand's almost done. Can't wait for PvP. Thank you to everyone who's helped. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Happy Minecrafting. Peace.